Hi everyone, my name is Eliza and I'm a third year environmental studies major here at UCSB. And this is my Eli project, which I called ECO-nnect, like ECO-nnect, navigating environmental engagement at UCSB. So my overarching goal is to educate, inspire, and encourage UCSB students to take part in movements or actions to help environmental issues in Santa Barbara. And my more specific goal for my project is by the end of summer 2026, orientation programs and parent services will have included a mandatory environmental resources workshop for all incoming and transfer students to participate in. So when you come to UCSB, I'm sure a lot of you, it's your first time walking into a huge university or campus, like what I experienced my freshman year. And coming to UCSB, there's about more than 20,000 students, and there's so many different resources and buildings, and you have to navigate finding your own class schedules and where those classes are even held. And so it's really easy to like get lost or not really find where you're meant to fit in and you're trying new things. And especially for me, I did not know where or like how to find all the different environmental resources at UCSB. And so that is kind of the inspiration for where my project began. And my roadmap of action is planning and discussing the beginning steps of how my project was going to go. And then I knew I wanted to educate students and then eventually hold a test trial for my new workshop that I'm proposing for orientation and then hold my first workshop. And then this is a picture at Earth Day, and then this is my mentor, Dean, with me and my dog. So in the beginning of winter quarter, my original plan for the project was to revamp different newsletters on campus and make it more engaging and also increase the amount of people who are opening the newsletters and hopefully finding information and opportunities and new upcoming events. And so I worked with UCSB Sustainability and I revamped what their bulletin newsletter looked like. And we tried changing the format of it to move on to we tried moving it to a different platform. And so this was like the first template that I came up with, and I really wanted to highlight upcoming events, new opportunities, like job opportunities or intern opportunities, and also highlight positive environmental news that is happening currently, like every week or every month. And so this is kind of the first draft. And then later on throughout winter and spring quarter, I was actually coordinating Ivy Earth Day with AS Environmental Affairs Board. And I included this into my project just because a lot of my project is wanting to make sure that everyone knows where their resources at. And so one really big part of Earth Day is we had a large station where you could find a lot of different organizations on campus, and they were tabling just like in this picture in the middle about what their projects are and what their goals are at UCSB. And I have a list of stations that were actually included at Earth Day. We had a clothing swap. We have a lot of different fun activities for people just to learn more about the earth and celebrate the earth. And some other big organizations at UCSB that attended the event were Ivy Surfrider, Composting and Recycling, the Edible Campus Program, UC Carbon Neutrality Initiative, Education, Zero Waste, and a bunch more. And I think this was a really good and public way that's like in the center of Ivy for people to come and learn more about different resources at UCSB. And it's also super engaging and a fun and just like a low stakes environment for people to learn more. And then during spring quarter, in addition to like the newsletter and then the Earth Day, I created a huge school-wide email with the announcements email, and it was sent to all the undergraduates and graduates at UCSB. And it was basically in spirit of Earth Day. I wanted to highlight a bunch of organizations on campus, and it's all listed out here in this one email, which is like really helpful because you don't really have to move around different platforms to get this information. And I linked every website for each organization. And I think this is a really good way of just making sure everything's on one page and every single person at school got the same email too. So it was a really effective way of communicating. And then just going back to like my main project idea, It shifted from doing work with the newsletters at school, but then I also wanted to do something where I felt that, I was engaging a different audience, which are incoming freshmen and transfers, and I proposed a new mandatory environmental resources workshop to the orientation programming because of my past experience. Last summer, I worked as an orientation staffer, and I was able to help see things firsthand about how we educate the students when they're coming to UCSB. And I noticed that there was nothing that was mandatory about learning different environmental resources on campus. And I think starting at the beginning of making sure everyone knows where they can find these resources helps you carry on that information throughout your time in college and throughout your 4 years. And hopefully you can share that information with others too. And this new workshop, oh, I realized I put new workshop, but this new workshop is an interactive scavenger hunt, and I was able this picture is my test run that I was able to do with a bunch of different students who wanted to volunteer and help me. And you basically go throughout Manzanita Village and you find different clues that lead you to a different resource on campus. And it's really fun and active. It gets people moving while they're learning because something else that I noticed when I worked with orientation services last summer, there's a lot of information that you're just like giving the students, and sometimes it's really easy to lose focus. And when you're actively moving around, you can have fun at the same time and meet new people and also retain that information because you're connecting a memory with that. And then my leadership takeaways is rejection is redirection. I've had a lot of things not go exactly how I planned it or thought it was gonna go in the beginning, which is normal, and that's just, like, part of the journey, and I think that just all of those things that happened helped me to where I am right now, so don't think of it as, like, a bad outcome, and also just from going off of that, persistence is key, and you don't have to create something totally new, try revising, enhancing projects and groups that are already there, and also take time to take care of yourself because in order to be an effective and successful leader, you need to make sure that you're helping yourself in order to help others. And thank you so much for listening to my project, and this is my contact information.